it figured out. So
I know, we're here now. That's all that matters.
here. Exactly. So before we begin, I wanted to tell everyone a little bit about Stevie. Like I said before, she is my Miss Indiana volunteer, and she is a personal trainer, a fitness instructor who is actually training for the hit show on NBC, which is American Ninja Warrior, which is just so awesome. I didn't know that about you, so that's so cool.
Yes.
And she's also the founder of the Diamond Bucket Project and works with Good to Grow Green organization, the nonprofit organization as well. So let's hear more from Stevie. Stevie, if you want to introduce, add things to your amazing bio, feel free.
Oh my goodness. Well, hello everybody. I'm so excited that me and Bonnie can talk. I know that we're going to dive a little bit more into the health and wellness side of things. Obviously, I do have other hobbies outside of fitness, and of course, I started competing in pageants. Hello, Presley. When I was 16. So I did start competing when I was a teen, and then obviously now I'm here still competing, and it's been just an amazing way for me to grow my own personal platform, but also you know, just to be able to meet so many amazing people along the way. I think that's the coolest part of all of it is the sisterhood, obviously, and the people that you're able to connect with. So just like me and Bonnie now, like obviously our paths have crossed together, and we get to grow this relationship with each other. And I just think that that's awesome, and something that pageants provide that just other things in life just simply don't. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Yeah. Stevie and I did not know each other before we competed together at the state pageant. So it's so cool to see how our like paths cross, and now we get to have this year together, which is amazing.
Right. Exactly. And I think that that's super cool too, is just to see, first off, I know that you're on here talking about me, but Bonnie is just incredible. I mean, for that don't know her, and the things that she has done already and continue to do are just phenomenal. So you should be so proud of yourself.
Thank you so much.
You know, as young as you are, but so wise, and it's just, I'm learning so much from you already, which I think is awesome.
That's so sweet. I mean, I'm learning so much from you. You're such a great role model, and I'm so grateful I get to share this year with you. So
awesome. Yeah. But do we jump into it?
Yes, let's jump into it. So if you guys are at home, find like a little space where we're going to do a little workout, a little fitness session. So
yes,
you can get ready for all of that.
Yes. Hello, my mammal's on here. Hello, mammal.
Oh, hello.
So basically, I told Bonnie, I was like, we're going to do a little workout. And I think that the main purpose that I really wanted to do this as well is because this just goes to show that you can work out absolutely anywhere. The comfort of home, you can do it in your living room, you can play Just Dance on the Wii, like whatever it is that you're doing, it is possible to find movement in so many different activities. And so I'm gonna just show you all like a couple different body weight exercises that we can do that honestly, like as you're watching TV, in your commercials, whatever you're doing, just like sitting at home, finding that time to just stay active and get on your feet. So we're going to stand up. I'm going to kind of scoot this back a bit.
Yep. I'm like trying to find a good position.
I know. Just a little bit of space here. So we're starting off standing up. We're going to start with just the body weighted air squats. So we're going to place, you can either find your hands here if you want to keep them in fists, if you want to place them on your hips, wherever you're comfortable. But you're going to start by going and dropping into a squat. So you want to think about driving through those heels. You want to go all the way down to almost like 90 degrees. And you might not be able to see me with my phone, but you want to drive through those heels dropping all the way down, 90-degree, like wall sit hold, and then standing all the way back up to the top. And then you want to think, once you get to the top, you're squeezing those glutes at the top. You want to stay engaged the whole time. So as you're going into that squat, driving through those heels, and then driving all the way up to the top, squeezing those glutes. Just going into that squat, back up to the top. Yes, Bonnie. Let her go. She's going all the way into that squat and back up to the top. Perfect. So that is what we call just a regular body weight squat. It's also, you can add weight, you can add dumbbells, you can add different types of equipment if you want. And then another really good like lower body movement is going to be reverse lunge. So this is going to be more of a single leg movement, and it goes really well with the squat. I even watch some people sometimes do one squat into reverse lunges, but it's a really good body weighted movement as well. So basically, you're standing up straight, you're going to drive one foot back. You want to think about tilting that pelvis under. You're driving that knee all the way down towards the floor. You want to think that that knee is just hovering 1 to 2 inches off the floor before you come all the way back up from that lunge. So you're just driving that foot back, making sure that pelvis is tilted under, and then coming up to the top. So you're going to keep that core engaged the whole time. And then whenever you do 5 or 6 on one leg, you'll switch it over to the other side, and you'll do those reverse lunges on the other side. So you'll drive that knee all the way down towards the floor. Again, slightly hovering the floor 1 to 2 inches with that knee. As you come up to the top, think about squeezing those glutes at the top as well. All right, so that is reverse lunges. And then we are going to do one more because I have some questions to answer as well.
Yes.
But you all might not be able to see us on the floor. So I'm going to kind of more explain this one. And then Bonnie, if you want to try it while you're sitting there, you go for it. So we're going to be doing some push-ups. So I know people don't love the idea of doing push-ups, but it's so important to try things, I always say, that we don't always love to do. I say that in my class. I teach at a place called BU Fitness. And I always add push-ups into my class. And I'm like, they probably hate me, but really I'm doing it because like we have to do things that we don't necessarily like in order to get stronger. So that's kind of my mentality around it. So for the push-up, you can go down to your knees or you can choose to stay on your toes, but you're gonna be in that high plank. So you're gonna have your hands on the ground, your feet are out, and then you are just, I'm gonna bring this down to the floor so everyone can see me. I'm going all over the place, but hands are on the floor. You're going to drive your chest all the way down towards the ground. You want to think about your chest reaching the floor until you push all the way back up to the top. You can always bring it down to your knees as well and do it on your knees too. But this is a really great upper body exercise. You can implement it in absolutely anything. And when it comes to body weighted movements, this one is just phenomenal. Again, doing it in front of your TV while you're watching your favorite show. I think people, just like I said, forget and underestimate how much just simple body weighted exercises can impact you. So,
yes, so
workout.
I love that. Yeah, so what is your for people who are like struggling, like I sometimes with push-ups it's really hard to get that push-up. So what is your
You cut out a little bit.
Oh,
say it one more time.
Sorry, what is your advice for doing, push-ups when it's like, because it's very hard to get it all the way down and come back up. Mm-hmm.
And I think that the biggest thing, and this goes for any exercise, is starting off small and starting off simple. And what I mean by that is not feeling like you can't use the fact that you can go down to your knees and practice push-ups in a different way before you excel to that next step. So I think like starting on your knees, maybe you don't even bring your chest all the way down to the floor to begin with. Maybe you're just simply holding that high plank while you're on your knees, and then you can excel that movement by maybe doing a little bit of pulses just to get your upper body moving, just so that you can experiment with your own strength. And I think it also just gains confidence as well. So if you feel that you have that support from your knees, you have the upper body supporting you, then you can slowly start to begin to bring that chest further and further towards the floor. So I think that that can really be related to anything that we do. It's like just starting small and being able to embrace that there are steps you can take to get to that big picture, and not being afraid to kind of take those baby steps in order to get there. So that's my great advice. I know for a fact, and I'm sure this might be a question that you have, is kind of like why I, or how I got into fitness.
Yes.
Yes. And this this question kind of leads right into why I personally got into fitness. And during it was during the pandemic, I was really struggling. I mean, I think everyone can relate to this, but a lot with like anxiety and depression. And that's been something that I've struggled with for a really long time now. Ever since I was a freshman in high school, I just really, especially when it came to seasonal depression, it was just harder for me. I would never say that I actually ever worked out. I did musical theater growing up, and we would train, and there was different ways, like during dance class and different things that we would do different exercises, but nothing to the extreme of what I'm doing now. So whenever COVID happened, obviously there was no outlet for anyone. Everyone was stuck in their house. It was really hard. And I'm not even just saying that for me. I mean, I think everybody can relate to that. And
Yeah.
I think that I found the outlet of me and my mom actually would do little 20-minute workouts. We would look on YouTube, and we would type in 20-minute cardio workout on YouTube, and then we would sit in her room and we would do the workout together. And that's literally how it all started for me during COVID. I mean, almost 3 years ago now is when I ever started working out. I had never worked out before that a day in my life. And I was intimidated by it, but it became like this outlet. It became this release for me to just be able to be with myself. And it was like those out of the whole day, I looked forward to those 20 minutes, and I didn't really understand why.
Yeah.
And after things started opening back up, I went to a place called F45, and the people there were extremely nice, but I was extremely intimidated because I had no idea what I was doing other than the fact that I had been doing workouts in my mom's room. So I really didn't know what to expect. And then I remember doing the workout, and I really could confidently say I thought I was going to pass out because it was so hard. And
Yeah.
I remember being done, and I walked out of there like, I will never do this again. I was like, that was intense. And so I left there. I will say I was kind of negative about it, and I was like, get me out of here. I think I'm going to throw up. And so I ended up going home, and I just loved the way I felt after that. Like, even though right after the workout and during I hated it, I loved the way I felt. It was a release that I had never experienced before. And so after that, I ended up going back, and I went back again and again and again. And I was so adamant to continue because I loved the way it made me feel. And that's what ultimately got me into it, really. It was the medicine that I needed for my own mental health, was moving my body in that way. It was the best release I could have asked for. So that's kind of how I got into it.
That's really cool. And I can honestly kind of relate, because I usually I don't do like a full on, workout. I've always done dance. That was always my workout of the week, because we have it several times, in a week where you practice. But I also started doing some like workouts on YouTube over the COVID time. And it was always like I never liked how like, oh, it was like I had to, like sweat, you know, you
Yeah.
sweat at the end of work. I never liked that part, but doing it and like pushing yourself was always something that for me I really enjoyed, and like it was such a relaxation. Now that you're saying that, like it makes me think about like it was just such a it gives you a stress reliever almost.
Right.
So I love that you found that outlet that really just kind of just worked and just made you feel so refreshed and, you know, so productive.
Exactly. And that's the thing with working out, it's obviously releasing those endorphins, and we need that. I think that people underestimate the power of what physical, and I say physical activity because working out can look so many different ways.
Yeah.
We've even discussed. It's not just sitting and lifting weights in a gym. You can make working out fun. You can make it enjoyable. You can go on hikes. You can do a workout in your kitchen. There's so many different ways to move your body, and I think that physical activity is so important for our mental health. And I mean, I'm the first one to say, like, I think I'm a walking project of, I struggled, I mean, immensely with, and I never did it for the fact that, and I always preface this, is I was never working out in order to achieve a physical physique, or I was never obsessed with that. It really was all mental. And I think that once people are able to realize that and really hone into the fact that they're doing this for really like longevity purposes, like we are just happier, healthier people when we move our bodies and give our body the love it deserves. Like our bodies need love too, and so do our minds, but both.
Yeah. So I have a question for you about those obstacles. I mean, you talked about those, the time that you went and you were like, I'm done. Like after you walked out, and you said what made you come back was how it made you feel. But throughout the workout, how did you get through it? How did you not like stop and be like, I can't do this? You know, how did you just keep going? What was your motivation
Right.
behind that?
I'm going to be honest. It is very hard in life in general to not stop something when you feel like you aren't excelling at it.
Yeah.
And I really did used to be like that. I felt like I was not amazing at something, then I felt like I always had to just quit. And I I didn't like that I had that mentality at all. And so, especially during that first workout, I remember there were multiple times that I did want to stop. And I remember the coach at the time, her name is Serena, and she's actually one of my bosses at F45, and she's absolutely amazing. And I remember coaching the class, and she kept saying during the class, like, remind yourself why you showed up to begin with. Remind yourself of your why. And I was like, oh my goodness, it was like something was clicking, like, why am I here? Why did I show up? I didn't have to be here. I chose to be here. It was a choice, it was a decision. So why am I here? And having those internal conversations with yourself, as crazy as that is really what's going to get you through something that's challenging. And I think that I even do it now. There's times the other day to work out that I did not want to be there. I'll be honest, I did not want to be there. But I remind myself every day why I continuously show up, even when I don't want to be there. And so I think that that's what you ask yourself is why. And it is weird. It is very weird. You have internal conversations with yourself and you're like, this is strange, but it happens. And it's a powerful thing, but like embrace that and hone into that. And you can figure out, you can explore so much about yourself when you just ask yourself, why? Why am I doing something?
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's such great advice for even just like anything in life, you know, because there's so many challenges that come not only when you're working out, but just like in general. And sometimes, even for me, sometimes that's like going to school. I'm like, why do I, you know, you have to keep going. And sometimes you're just like, oh, well, you know, I don't want to go today. I feel very like tired, but you have to keep going, even in those moments too. So I love that because I feel like that reminding yourself of the, like, why I'm here and what's the purpose, and just recognizing like your gratitude towards the things that you do is just, that's amazing.
And that was kind of the correlation to how this all started for me, because again, going through and dealing with a lot of anxiety and depression, I had a lot of those moments of why am I here? Like physically, like in this, like on earth. Like it's a very surreal experience when you can place that in certain situations of your life, but then also seeing life as a whole. That's how we grow, is when we question ourselves and when we ask questions and when we ask those around us. Like that's my biggest advice to anyone, is to ask. And because of Serena, because of those comments she made during class, that got me into finding what I love, which is coaching. And so I think that just looking for the power in everything and the significance behind every single thing that you're doing. So
I love that. When did you start coaching? Like, when did you start beginning that process?
Yeah. So I went to F45, and I told you all the story of I showed up. I was a member, I believe it was like 3 to 4 months before I asked the owner. Again, asking questions. I asked the owner, how can I be a coach here? I had no experience and I was not certified. And I was like, how can I coach here? Because this is what I want to do. And he immediately like wrapped me under his wing. He was so supportive, and he just believed in me right from the start. It was like I had no experience. I had no idea what I was doing, but he saw something in me that I saw in myself at that time. And he just gave me the steps that I needed to be successful. And he gave me a job there in the midst of really training to even be certified to be an instructor. And so that's really how it started for me. F45 is the place that it started, and I'm still coaching there to this day. And I get to experience the same thing that happened to me happen to so many people. And I've seen some of my dearest friends now. They're actually coaches there as well. Same thing happened to them. It's just it's a very special experience when you walk in those doors and you just immediately find that you love this. This is what you do. So
I love that. That's amazing.
Thanks.
So it's how many years have you said it's been? A year?
So for coaching, it's been around 2 years.
2 years. Wow.
Yeah, 2 years now. And still going strong. Like I said, now I also coach at a place called BU Fitness, and so I actually get to create my own workouts there. It's so fun. The dynamic is different, and I love that. My favorite part about the job is being able to meet people and inspire people, share my story, and also hope that I'm making a difference in their life, just like that instructor in the beginning of all of this and that story with Serena, how she made that impact in me. That's ultimately what I want to do for other people.
That is amazing. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that. And, before we exit the live, do you have any basically like final tips or recommendations on someone who is looking to start their fitness journey, or finding that difficulty in beginning or giving that motivation?
Yes, I actually got asked this in my Miss India vlog.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I love that. I mean, again, like I think I get asked that a lot, and it's like how do you get started? And I think that it's very basic, and I'm gonna say is try. Put your best foot forward. Start small. Be able to accept the fact that this is not a sprint. This is a marathon, and there is going to be challenges, and it's not going to be easy. And allowing yourself just to enjoy the process, enjoy the journey of discovering this love that you will have for fitness, for moving your body, for just physical activity. Like I said, it can be anything, but starting small, putting your best foot forward, trusting the process, and just being in the moment as well, I think is huge. It's like, even now, there's things that I know that I'm still working for now, that I'm still obviously training for, like bigger things. And I still understand that, but I'm enjoying the process right now. And I know that in this moment here, you know, it's going to lead me to the goal that I have, but I got to trust the process. So that's my biggest advice. And start watching those YouTube videos.
Some great
Look it up.
advice.
I'll send you some if anyone.
Hey. That's awesome. Yeah. They even like you said, starting small, I feel like is the biggest thing, because a lot of people, you know, I know they're like, oh, I need to go to a gym or something like that. But truthfully, whatever makes you feel the most like for your lifestyle, whatever makes you feel your best self, I feel like that's what truly matters.
Exactly. You're amazing. Thank you so much for all.
Thank you so much for joining us and for sharing some of those tips and some of those exercises that we can do. I'll definitely be doing some more of those throughout the week. So I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
You have
much.
a good night. And everybody, have a wonderful night.
Thank you guys for joining. Have a fabulous Friday. All right. Hello.